thumbnail. Hold up. I'll be here in a second. I'll see you so shortly. Oh, come on, Marty. Get your stuff together. Oh, my gosh. There we go. There's my face. Yes, we got some smooth, soulful sounds this morning. I might change Metal Monday to Motown Monday, even though I don't have a whole lot of Motown stuff handy. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Okay. Good morning. Hey, happy Wednesday. Hump Day on the Morning Night Live. I'm here a little closer to the time I'm supposed to be. That's a good thing because I got done with my stuff earlier than yesterday, at least. We're making progress. And we took a friend of ours out for a birthday celebration last night. It was kind of nice at a nice restaurant that we like. And then I get on the old show machine this morning, the computer, the screens in front of me, my vast array of computer screens, and realized that we have something to celebrate. I didn't realize it until I looked at Twitter this morning. So we'll celebrate that. We'll talk about why the White House is kind of... why is everyone... Well, I'm going to try to answer the question, why everyone's so concerned about this leak theory that the Department of Energy was talking about, why they're mad, why the White House is a little bit shook. And then we'll talk about stuff that the media is going to catch up on. We're going to do all that right after the intro. Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Oh, yeah! That's me! The guy here. Stop the music. Good morning. Whoa, what the hell's going on there? What the hell? That didn't work. How about this? Yes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel on this Wednesday, Hump Day, the 1st of March, 2023. Yes, it's Rabbit Day, and this is the first time, I think, in my exceedingly large number of years, yes, Tyre, I'm old, that I remembered to have the first thing that came out of my mouth this morning when I woke up was the words rabbit. So that means I better have some damn good luck this month. I'm going to have a prosperous, healthy, and super califragilisticexpialidocious month. How about that? Rabbit. Not bunny, not rabbit, but rabbit. I don't know why. That's just what my drama teacher told me in high school, and I'm going to stick with it. So anyway, I'm glad you're here today. It's Wednesday, Hump Day. For those of you who work 9 to 5s, Monday through Fridays, like me. Well, I don't work 9 to 5, but I do work Monday through Friday for the most part. Half your week's over. It's almost the weekend. So congratulations to those, and some of you might have the day off anyway, or I don't know what the hell you do, but hope you're having a wonderful day. All right, let's say good morning to everybody, and then we'll figure out what's happening in the world. So first over on Rumble, in the chat, Mr. Avocados W gets the bell. Thank you for being here. Good morning also, Simon Wolfwood, Jimmy Das Hotel, Mike Savage, Blarg, and that's everybody over there, but there'll be more. You know, it's interesting. I just noticed, I was kind of looking at my, my analytics, not my analytics, you know, the things the back page that you get on both Rumble and YouTube. And I don't know how this is possible, but I have more views on my show on Rumble than I do on YouTube. Now, at first I thought, oh, maybe it's just because anytime you click in and click out on Rumble, you get it, you know, they count it as a view. But that's not the case because they have both total number of clicks onto the show and total number of unique watchers. And I'm like, who is watching my show on Rumble? I mean, it's way more than YouTube. I can't figure it out. So now they're not watching during the show. They're not watching it live. But apparently people are at least checking it out a little bit. So if you're watching on Rumble, do me a favor, throw a comment in the comment section so I know you've been here. So if you see this P right here, see this, just say, oh yeah, I'm going to just take your time, tap, in the comment section, go tap, I was here. And then I'll know kind of who's been coming through here because I don't even know. But I appreciate you, and that's fantastic. I am so happy about that. Over on YouTube, first the chat is... It would be Rabbit who gets the bell. I see you. I see you. I see you right there. Also, good morning to HP Lovecraft, who threw a rabbit at me. Avocados Diabli, who probably has very long ears and Twitch. Also, good morning, Simon Wolfwood. Rotten Corpses in the house. Dr. Funkenstein's ghost. I know that's you, Tyre. Also, good morning. Did I say Mike Savage? Blarg. Also, good morning to Tyler F. My favorite Canadian Jaeger ponies in the house. Renee Mayette's here. Good to see you. Also, Aaron Meredith, what's up? Good morning, HP Lovecraft. Did I already say HP Lovecraft? I might have. Lord Stanhope's in the house. And Maddie's in the house. And people are rolling in slowly. 15, only 16 people here. This is weird. Did I say something? Did I say something wrong? Currently, I'm a bum. Just kidding. House renovation in full effect. Oh, okay. You guys are talking about something else over there. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Share the stream. I think a couple of you already have. Let me check that out. Yes, Renee Mayette, Simon Wolfwood, Tyler F, Jimmy Das Hotep. I greatly appreciate all you doing that thing. I appreciate it. Also, you are the sponsors of the show. Like, share, put a comment in the comment section, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Look, I have this thing in this the chat. Only people who are subscribed can chat on the show, and that's only because I get tired of those stupid bots that try to, promote, porn sites and shit like that. So if you subscribe, you can immediately chat. I don't put a time limit on how long you have to be subscribed to chat, but I do that for that reason. And then finally, you can also sponsor the show, pdognight.live. That's my Streamlabs link. You can do YouTube Super Chats, Venmo, Cash App. All that stuff is in the description. Good morning, infamous one. Good to see you too. All right, let's get into the show. Now, let's talk about a couple things that are trending in the world. Just the kind of newsy stuff first. And I said at the beginning of the show, I said today is a celebration. Today is the first day. Now, I know I wait for it. I know you're excited. I know you've been waiting for this one. In fact, Tall Person would probably have told us this already. Today is the first day of Women's History Month. Yay! I know everyone's excited. You just are thrilled and enthralled and excited and can't contain yourself. It's Women's History Month. It's also Social Work Month, but nobody cares about that. Now, and as appropriately, on the first day of Women's History Month. Oh, you know what? Oh no, are you kidding me? Okay, wait a minute. Dude, I just scrolled down into the trending topics on Twitter today. Guess what? One of the trending topics on Twitter today is... You're not going to believe this. Is the first time I've ever seen this, and it may validate me. Okay, just me. Nobody else but me. Okay, today trending on Twitter is, you're not going to believe it. I'm going to show you. I can't believe it right here. I'll go back once. Look at number 25 here. I'm put it on the screen. Look right here. 25 right there. 25. Rabbit is trending on Twitter. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. People thought I was weird when I told you that story. Let's just click on Rabbit. I hope there's not any weird sex things on here. Yes, Rabbit, right there. Rabbit celebrates what love. Wait, that's not it. Rabbit is trending on Twitter now. Happy March 1st. Also, this is the what you call it? It's St. Patrick's Day month, the month of St. Patrick's Day. Although we only get one day for the Irish, but the whole Women's History Month is the women get the whole month of March as Women's History Month. So here it is. Let's see. Rabbit and hare have long been associated with the goddess and sacred to several: Freya, Artemis, Hecate, Aphrodite, Holda, and Serdwin. Rabbits are associated with the moon, magic, luck, love, abundance, rebirth, and fertility. Oh, yeah. Fertility. Anyway, good morning, Don Julio, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man, and TC are in the house. Nice to see y'all. So, and Chicago Mike's here. What's up, brother? Okay, so anyway, I'm just gonna leave that trending topic. I'm gonna copy. Let me copy this. Copy. We'll paste it into another. If you want to find out about Rabbit, there's a whole bunch of people talking about it on Twitter today because it's the first of the month. I told you so. I told you. It's the first day of the month. Rabbit is trending. So there you go. All right. Now, it's Women's History Month also. And I think it's Ed Krastenstein's right at the top of Women's History Month. Okay. Let's see what Ed Krastenstein has to say about Women's History Month, and I will do it in the voice of Ed Krastenstein. As we enter the new month of March, today is the first day of Women's History Month. Let's flash back to the 1910s and 20s when American women were fighting just to get the right to vote. Hashtag Women's History Month. If it wasn't for these women, the 19th Amendment wouldn't have been passed when it was. Women in 2020 were deciding the vote, likely putting Biden over Trump in the general election. Thank you to all the amazing women of our past, present, and future. You make America great. No, they don't. No. We need to repeal the 19th Amendment. It was a terrible idea. Okay, sorry, ladies. I'm just kidding. But just to remind you of something. It was men who passed the 19th Amendment. Just saying. It was men who did that. Yes, women were, and asking about it, but the men passed the 19th Amendment. So let's give the men some credit too, Ed. Anyway, anything? Okay, I can't scroll this one. Because you never know what's going to happen if you scroll on something that says women. Oh, wait a minute. How come? Okay, so they're featuring different women. I'm going to just scroll down here, make sure. Oh, here's a good one. Here you go. Oh, wow, this is wild. Now, this is weird. I'm not sure who this is. Amy, what's her face? She says, I got your Women's History Month right here. I don't know. She doesn't look happy about Women's History Month. Who is this woman? Look, I expect dipping sauce with my wings. Got it. Now give me some blue cheese, not some tablespoon of ration you got worked out. Okay, comrade. Okay, Amy is not. Amy says, I don't give a shit about Women's History Month. Thank you, Chicago Bite. You are the first sponsor of the show, and that means you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Chicago Mike. Today, should we use music on the? Let's use music today for our super chats and our Streamlabs. But I gotta get some music here. Let's try. I need to get a little more description so I know what I'm getting here. Oh, this didn't tell you. What the hell's going on here? Good Lord. There we go. Let's do here. This is a hopeful type of music. Thank you, Chicago Mike, with dropping a big bullet in the tip jar, who says today's episode. Oh, that's really loud, isn't it? That's all right. It works. Okay. Today's episode is brought to you by Beetlejuice. We won't say it a third time because we don't want her to return as mayor ever again. Hey, if you don't know what Chicago Mike is talking about, well, let's just fill you in. Because on Women's History Month, stop the music. On Women's History Month, this is appropriate. Lori Lightfoot is also trending. Lori Lightfoot will no longer be the mayor of Chicago. At least, well, no, wait. That's okay. I should probably say could possibly no longer be the mayor of Chicago. Here's what happened. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's the Babylon Bee. So apparently there was an election yesterday in the great land of Chicago, or the city of Chicago. And the voters of the city of Chicago voted, and Lori Lightfoot came in third place. Now, she's about 18,000 votes. They're behind the number one candidate. There were 8 candidates apparently on the Chicago ballot. And she's about 18,000 votes behind in Chicago, right? And so, in theory, Lori Lightfoot has lost her bid to be the mayor of Chicago again. First mayor, I think, in 40 years to not win a second term, okay? And we're sorry for Mayor Lori Lightfoot, or soon-to-be former Mayor Lori Lightfoot. So she failed to advance. Here it is. Oh, wait. Now this says Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot failed to get enough votes to advance in the mayoral election, ending a chance to remain the city's first black lesbian mayor. She failed to stop surging violent crime. She is the first in 40 years to lose a mayoral election. Well, she's first, mayoral re-election. Okay, so that's Andy Ngo is quoting the BBC story. Kim Klasick, Chicago giving the boot to Mayor Lori Lightfoot brings hope to the future. Every progressive must be replaced. Defund the police. Clowns were unfortunately given the opportunity to destroy our nation of laws. Chip away Chicago. Only losers believe races are unwinnable. Now, so here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. Never, especially in Chicago, never say never. Now I got to find this article that I had because here it is right here. I'm gonna move this over because this is it Breitbart? Yeah, Breitbart had an article about this. Okay, and Mayor Lightfoot is not looking happy in this picture, but this is pretty typical. Mayor, and I know. Oh, Ed Krassen said something about this too. Something about if you call her Beetlejuice, then you're just a sorry. Anyway, don't care. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot loses re-election bid. Now, wait, because it's not 100% yet, because she's down 18,000 votes. But remember, this is Chicago, and the mail-in ballots haven't all been counted, so you just don't know. Did someone else show up? Hi, I said Renee May. Okay, anyone else new show up? Plague Dr. Zach's in the house. How you doing, Zach Osborne? Nice to see you. Okay, so Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot failed to secure enough votes to advance the runoff on Tuesday, losing her bid for a second term in office, according to an Associated Press projection. Now, it's just a projection, but it's not looking good for Mayor Lightfoot. Lightfoot becomes the first Chicago mayor to lose a bid for re-election in 40 years when the former mayor, Jane Byrne, was ousted in 1983. So at least during Women's History Month, another woman, does something significant. She's the first mayor to lose re-election since the last woman to lose re-election in Chicago on Women's History Month. This is perfect. So Lightfoot's loss sets up former Chicago Public Schools CEO Paul Vallis and Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson, both Democrats and both men, on Women's History Month for a head-to-head face-off in the runoff election on April 4th, my birthday. The runoff election is on my birthday? That's fantastic. Hello, Stefania. Hello, Brent Hayes. Hello, Shrapnel. Yes, the runoff election is on my birthday, April 4th. So that's coming up in about almost a little more than a month after St. Patrick's Day. See, I got things to celebrate. I got St. Patrick's Day, and then I got my birthday coming up. So anyway, Lightfoot's first term in office was marked by the coronavirus pandemic and a massive increase in crime. Lori has had her chance since Lori Lightfoot has been in office. It seems like crime has gotten worse. 45-year-old Chicago resident Lonell Jolly told the Associated Press. In 2022, Lightfoot's Chicago recorded 723 murders. Jesus. A 95% increase in vehicle thefts, a 50% increase in theft, a 10% increases from previous years in burglary and robbery. The crime wave has continued in 2023 as the first homicide of the year occurred just 90 minutes into the new year. In addition, the first 22 days of 2023 saw a significant increase in crime, as Breitbart News reported. So, and, you know, she's just kind of she's a strange bird. I just got to say, that's there. So anyway, during Women's History Month, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot makes history as another Chicago mayor woman who doesn't get reelected, since the last Chicago mayor who didn't get reelected was also a woman. And so happy Women's History Month to all you in Chicago. So there you go. Real quick, before we change subjects, thank you, Chicago Mike. Let's find some appropriate music for Chicago Mike. Let's see. This looks good. Let's try this one. Oh, wait. Black Hebrew Israelite first. And by the way, good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who says, drops a deuce in the tip jar. I always get a kick out of saying that phrase. Oh, no. Oh, no. Now, Chicago Mike, Black Hebrew Israelite, is messing with you here. Who's Black Hebrew Israelite says Beetlejuice Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Ah! Right. Damn, she lost it. Okay, yes, it's very sad that Lori Lightfoot is lost on Women's History Month. And then Chicago Mike drops another deuce in the tip jar, who says, oh no, oh no, not enough dead people. Not enough dead people voted for Lightfoot.
I see dead people.
Okay, so anyway, you never know. The dead people may have done voted by mail this year. So look, there's a tiny chance that she could end up in the runoff, but I'm not betting on it. But anyway, happy Women's History Month. Lori Lightfoot's no longer the mayor. Also, during Women's History Month, now this is a little less. Well, I won't say, what's the word? I don't know. By the way, thank you, TC and Mike Savage, for tweeting out the show. I appreciate it. Oh, you just liked it. Well, that's okay. You did something here. All right. Also during Women's History Month, trending today. Oh, wait. Anything else in Women's History Month? Wait a minute. Let me check this. Oh. Okay, I'm curious what people post on Women's History Month. Hello, Games Lames. Nice to see you. Games Lames. The Washington Trucking Association. The Washington Trucking Association tweets, trucking is proud to celebrate Women's History Month. Analysts, dispatchers, drivers, and more. Women make up an integral part of the trucking industry. Stay tuned for our featured profiles throughout the month. Okay. I am completely and utterly excited to find profiles of women in the trucking industry. I cannot wait. I've been asking for that I just don't know how long. I've been waiting to see tweets about the women in trucking. I'm sure there's a whole lot of interesting women in trucking. Good morning. Why are you so angry? Nice to see you. I see you in the chat there. Let's see. Anything else? The Obama Foundation. Oh, throughout history, women have fought tirelessly to move our country forward. This month, we'll be celebrating some of the remarkable women in our network who are creating lasting change. Follow along this Women's History Month. And they have Okay, it's interesting. Now, apparently, there are no white women, which I don't care. I just noticed that because I notice that in commercials all the time. My lady Boomer and I, when we're doing the rare event of watching commercial TV or we're watching a sporting event, I kind of notice how it's become a running joke in our house that they don't put white people in commercials anymore unless they're particularly white men. They'll put white women in commercials. But white men make really rare appearances, and I don't care. It's nice to see people that kind of somewhat faintly resemble me in commercials a lot. But it's not like when I go out to visit the mountains and I see brothers hiking all the time, and it's just weird some of the things they put people in. But it's okay. I think it's cool, but it's just weird. Hello, Septus Wolf. How you doing? We need profile. Renee says we need profiles in women oil rig workers, power line mechanics, plumbers, and waste managers. Yes, there's a cast of thousands when it comes to that too. Good morning, TC, by the way, over on Rumble. I see ya. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, here we go. Happy Women's History Month to our incredible Vice President, Kamala Harris, who continues to inspire so many young leaders and women everywhere to stand up and speak out for what you believe in. I couldn't be more proud of the work she does every day and the history she continues to make. Yeah. Really? Well, she is doing fantastic work on the United States southern border. So there you go. It was a debate. It was a debate. It was a debate. So anyway, now I don't want to completely make fun of Women's History Month. I'm sure that there will be actual posts about women in history that I can greatly respect and are interested in, whatever. And there are a lot of great women in history. And so I don't necessarily mean to completely make fun of Women's History Month. But it is kind of fun to do that. But anyway, let's see. Dr. Valerie Thomas invented the illusion transmitter, for which she received a patent and was responsible for developing digital image processing systems used in the early years of the Landsat program, a satellite imagery program run by NASA and the USGS. Okay, cool. Oh, here's one. America First policies. The America First Women's Agenda is the beginning of something long-term and transformational. We are reclaiming the idea of women's rights in America and their intrinsic value in Americans' foundation. Together we can fight back against the progressive left's attack on women's identity and reclaim the true meaning of women's rights in America. Brooke Rollins, the president and CEO of America First Policy Institute. That's interesting. So even some conservative women are celebrating Women's History Month. Good morning, Now What Studios. My friend Wu from high school, apparently Miss Harris, has made a lot of his story highlights. I don't know what they're talking about on this one. It's like, what is she doing? You can't see this. I took it off the screen. I don't know what she's doing. What does she say? Continues to inspire so many young leaders. How? How is she inspiring so many young leaders other than she's somewhere in the office there? And speak up for what you believe. The work she does every day. What does she do? I don't know. I don't know. All right, enough of that. Let's move on. What else is trending today? Oh, Lori Lightfoot. We already said that. We already talked about her. Women. Also trending on Women's History Month. Now, this is interesting. The hashtag We Love Gina Carano is trending. Now, she's a woman, and we like Gina Carano. I think she's a fairly decent actress. Actually, what's that? Something that, what is it? what's the movie she did for the Daily Wire? Something, Terror on the Prairie. I actually enjoyed that movie. It was an interesting movie. It was a little dark, little ominous, but she did a good job in that movie. But anyway, we love Gina Carano's trending. I think it's because I think The Mandalorian, that show, put out a third season. I think it just listen. Oh, here it is. The new season of The Mandalorian starts streaming on March 1st. So it starts streaming today. So a lot of people are tweeting, not Clam on the Prairie. Stop it. It was Terror on the Prairie. What the hell is wrong with you, AD? Anyway, yes, Beetlejuice. Oh, Just Cause. How you doing? Beetlejuice is out. Yes, that was the first news of Women's History Month, that Beetlejuice is no longer the whatchamacallit, the mayor of Chicago. She's not gonna be the mayor of Chicago when the new term comes out. So anyway, Terror was great, a little predictable, but good. It was enjoyable. It was just, it was kind of old-fashioned movie making. And it was, one of those movies, kind of like, anyway, I don't want to say it was kind of like, but anyway, so we love Gina Carano's trending because, yes, The Mandalorian's out, and a lot of people, now, apparently, here's someone said, just been sent this by a friend, Gina's absent on screen as Cara Dune is addressed by Carl Weathers as someone named Grief. At least it was handled respectfully to the masses for us that love the character. So they didn't, and I'm not going to play it, but here's what I'll do. I'll make this a separate link in the links. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, every day, everything that we, here, let's paste. Is that going to do that? There we go. There we go. That tweet will be in the links by itself. Anything I talk about during the show that's has a link to it, a video or articles or tweets or whatever, in the description of this video, both on Rumble and on YouTube, I add in the second paragraph, there's a link that will take you to a single page with everything we talked about during the day. So you'll be able to find all these articles very easily just by coming back, clicking that link in the description, and it'll all be in one page. So, anyway, I'm not sure. I didn't start watching The Mandalorian because I just couldn't bring myself to pay for Disney Plus. First of all, I got it free at first when I was still with Verizon, but then I switched over to AT&T, so I don't get free Disney Plus anymore. Anyway, it's sick what the social media mob and Disney Star Wars did to Gina Carano. She wasn't racist or transphobic, nor was she hateful or against anyone. She just stood her ground against bullies. I don't always share her politics, but I'll always always have her back on that. We love Gina Carano. So, it seems to be a PR issue for Disney. Here's another one. What a PR disaster for The Mandalorian. I mean, they've had 2 years to discuss this topic, and now right ahead of season 3, everyone is just utterly loving on Gina Carano and Cara Dune. I choose to have happy memories of season 1 and season 2. So apparently she was a popular character when they ditched her for some political bullshit. I guess she tweeted something that they didn't like. So people are loving Gina Carano today. So good for her. That's an interesting picture. I've never seen her portrayed kind of as in a sexy kind of way, but she looks kind of hot there. I mean, but anyway, I like her as an actress. I think she's pretty good. And it's funny. I didn't realize what wasn't she in one of the was it the first Deadpool movie I think she was in? She was one of those characters. She was pretty good in that too. She was kind of funny just because she was so deadpan mean. So it was kind of cool. Anyway, all right. Oh, here it is. Removed for saying neighbors shouldn't report on neighbors like the enemies in World War II did. Oh, that's right. She made a guy with the funny mustache reference without saying guy with the funny mustache. And people got really all up in her grits because of that. So, okay, got it. So, Beau Biden's trending. Wait a minute. Why is Beau Biden? This is just unplanned. I was going to get into the news very, very much next. I'm going to click just out of curiosity. And if it's something stupid, maybe it's something stupid the president said, but that's kind of redundant. Beau Biden is trending. Let's see why Beau Biden. By the way, John Fetterman's still trending because people are wondering, where's John Fetterman? Oh, for fuck's sake. Let's see. Republicans are now going after Beau Biden, a dead man. This is a plan by James Comer. Yet all the laws broken by Trump and his children are off limits. Have what? I'm sorry, what? You haven't found it yet. You haven't convicted of anything yet. So you're saying he broke laws, but you haven't convicted of anything. All those laws he broke that you haven't convicted him of, well, we're still waiting. I'm sure you'll find something. Anyway, oversight. Okay, this is the House Oversight Committee. James Comer lamented not being able to prosecute the late Beau Biden for what? MTG angrily blamed Biden. Here, I'm going to put this on the screen. Because I don't know why Beau Biden would be trending. Apparently someone in the Oversight Committee said something about Beau. Maybe he meant Hunter. MTG angrily blamed Biden's border policies for a July 2020 tragedy. Matt Gaetz accidentally cited CCP propaganda to attack U.S. aid to Ukraine. Oh, is that what it is? House Oversight Chair laments that Joe Biden's dead son was never... Okay, maybe he made a mistake. It meant... what is it? Breaking. IRS 990 filings reveal that Biden's added ex-FBI chief Louis Freeh to the board of directors of the Beau Biden Foundation after Freeh pumped $100,000 into a trust fund for Joe Biden's grandkids. Freeh, who's Irish, referred to Biden as dad in emails found on Hunter Biden's laptop. So they're not saying Beau Biden. They're talking about the Beau Biden Foundation. So that's from February 21st. What is this? Beau Biden is not above the law. He's just another criminal of the Biden crime family. Well, look, Representative James Comer laments the fact that late Beau Biden was never prosecuted. That's in the Daily Beast. That's why Beau Biden's trending. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll put the Daily Beast article at the end of the articles today. If we get to it, we might, probably won't, but anyway. There she is. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Somebody said it again. Okay, please take that face off my screen. Thank you. Thank you. We're all better now. All right, real quick. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for dropping another small bullet in the tip jar. Black Hebrew Israelite says, as a black masculine presenting man, I would like to send words of encouragement to young women leaders in America. Bitch, please.
That's right.
Wait. P.S. Fuck Beetlejuice. No. Oh, wait. You mean that as a pejorative. Okay. But not with my dick, maybe with Rachel Maddow's dildo.
That's right.
Okay. That is highly inappropriate. Stop the music. We should not ever say anything like that on my show because I certainly will not read it on my show. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you clarified that thing, Beetlejuice thing. So anyway, from transition to mall to FFS, freestanding store, was big in retail. Those who didn't get crushed. Okay, I don't know. Okay, you guys are talking about some economic shit. I don't know. He called Biden daddy. Yeah, I was like, he called Biden daddy? Ooh, I'm just, was he very young when he said that? I don't know. Ooh, that's not a good joke. Bad Marty. Thank you, Scribe Light, Simon Wolfwood, and Tyler F., who I already thanked for retweeting the show. I greatly appreciate it. Scribe, are you here? Dog Thrapple. And good morning to the Chosen One. The Chosen One is in the house. Nice to see you. All right, shall we get to the main subject of the show today? Because I have just been, I've been just babbling along here, having lots of fun, and, whatever. So yesterday I told you about the Department of Energy's report on the Chinese lung aids that, and that it might have originated in a lab, and maybe the lab, well, something about leaks, right?
China is asshole.
And so yesterday, apparently, Director Wray from the FBI, he was interviewed because the FBI has also made the same claims, right? So there's an article here today. FBI Director Wray, pandemic originated in Chinese lab, classified info supports assessment. Now, this is the FBI director. This is not the Department of Energy. So look, Steven Colbert. Steven, yeah. You remember when you made the jokes about something the Department of Energy and staying in your lane. Bitch, are you a doctor? Shut the fuck up. Anyway, he says now the FBI, who does investigations for all kinds of stuff, Christopher Wray, the director, said during an interview on Tuesday that the FBI assesses that a laboratory in Wuhan, China. Now, wait a minute. By the way, YouTube, I am quoting the director of the FBI. Shut up, you dumb bitches. On Women's History Month. Anyway, the laboratory in Wuhan, China is responsible for the outbreak of the COVID pandemic, and that there is classified material to back up the Bureau's assessment. The remarks from Ray come after the Department of Energy also recently assessed that the pandemic was a result of a Chinese lab leak, according to the Wall Street Journal. But remember, Steven Colbert made fun of it because it was a low confidence, whatever. But the FBI has a little more confidence. When asked by Fox News anchor Brett Baer about the FBI's assessment, Ray responded, "The FBI has for quite some time now assessed that the origins of the pandemic are most likely a potential lab incident in Wuhan." Really? Because for what did they mean quite some time? Define. Can you give me a calendar corresponding date or time that quite a long time covers? Because for some reason, okay, here's my question of the day. If you're going to comment in the comment section today, here's my question of the day. Why is it that so many of the people who've talked about the pandemic and are very adamant about certain aspects of the pandemic, of mask and jabs and Fauci juice and all that stuff, why are they so invested in this not being a leak from a lab in Wuhan? They're really, like Colbert, for example, really invested that there's no way this could be a leak from the lab in Wuhan, with the lab that does nothing but study these kind of things, right? No way the lab that is specialized in studying this type of disease and whatnot. There's no way in the hell that a Chinese lab with the perfect, pristine safety measures that they certainly must do because they are a Chinese lab in China, could never have a leak that would cause this worldwide pandemic. There's no way at all. Why are they so invested in that idea? Anybody? Why? Advocatus Dabley, I think you might have the right answer. I should have even... Hello, by the way, good morning, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy!
Advocatus Dabley might already have the answer because Trump suggested it was a leak. And if Trump suggested it, well, good God, why would we ever want to believe that dude with the funny hair? YouTube needs to revamp their COVID restrictions. I think they have, because they didn't yeet my channel yesterday. So anyway, because once stated, the left cannot self-correct without angering their people. Well, no, and that's part of it too. And the Biden administration is very reluctant. I'll get to that. Maybe because of their ties to China and whatnot. But so anyway, now he continued. Christopher Wray continued. The FBI has folks. What do you mean they have folks? The FBI has folks, agents, professionals, analysts, virologists, microbiologists, etc., who focus specifically on the dangers of biological threats, which include things like novel viruses, like COVID, and the concerns that, in the wrong hands, some bad guys, a hostile nation state, a terrorist, a criminal. He didn't finish that sentence. The threats that those could pose. Oh, I got you. So... So here, you're talking about a potential leak from a Chinese government controlled. Well, let's see. How long is this clip?
I asked you also back then.
Here, let's just watch the clip. I'm saying what he's saying, and I could just be showing it to you. So here's the clip. There's Brett Baer and Christopher Wray. Let's see what he says here. We'll
and about the investigation to COVID origins.
Is the FBI in charge of the investigation of the origins of the coronavirus? We certainly have a role in looking into the origins of the coronavirus.
We have a role. Interesting.
Now there's this Department of Energy study that says it's likely to have come from a lab leak, although the confidence is low. It cites the FBI.
Confidence low.
What is the determination by the FBI?
Oh, they were citing the FBI.
So, as you note, Brett, the FBI has for quite some time now assessed that the origins of the pandemic.
Okay, is it just me? Is it just me? Or does he look like he's reciting a script that he's rehearsed? Look how his body language and eyes, it's just weird. How wide his eyes are for this.
Are most likely a potential lab incident in Wuhan. Let me step back for a second. You know, the FBI has agents, professionals, analysts, virologists, microbiologists, etc., who focus specifically on the dangers of biological threats, which include things like novel viruses like COVID, and the concerns that in the wrong hands, some bad guys, a hostile nation state, a terrorist, a criminal, the threats that those could pose. So here you're talking about a potential leak from a Chinese government-controlled lab that killed millions of Americans, and that's precisely what that capability was designed for.
Okay, and so especially since 3 people from that lab got the illness, and 1 for sure died. There might have been 3 that died in that lab from COVID. That's interesting.
I should add that our work related to this continues, and there are not a whole lot of details I can share that aren't classified. I will just make the observation that the Chinese government, seems to me, has been doing its best to try to thwart and obfuscate the work here, the work that we're...
Okay, I got it. So anyway, that's interesting. I think, and kind of to add to what Advocatus Diaboli said, because he said, what did he say? Something, because Trump said this, right? Trump said this. I think there's 4 words that the White House fears more than anything regarding anything related to COVID-19, to the stupid 19, the pandemonium, as I use as a euphemism for COVID-19. There's 4 words that the current administration, the White House, Dr. Fauci, anybody at the CDC or at National Institute of Health or NIH, whatever the full acronym of that thing, whatever it is, there's 4 words that they do not want to have to come out of their mouths. And those 4 words are, 5 words. Well, no, not Donald Trump was right. Trump was right again. Trump was right again. Because so many ththis about this that he has said. Now, he was wrong about some things, too. Don't get me wrong. He was wrong. This is not going to go anywhere. This is whatever he said. But Trump was right again. Hello, Linda Hunter, by the way. On Midnight in Exile. Hello, good morning. Trump was right again. He was right that of the what the actual death rate from what this was going to be, less than 1%. It's about 0.3% or 0.3%, I think. And most of that is, and certainly that was heavily weighted towards the elderly, the obese, the immunocompromised people, because healthy people under 50, didn't die nearly as much, and healthy people under 30, pretty much almost non-existent deaths. I mean, there's some, but not obese, not immunocompromised, under 50. It was very unlikely that you would die from COVID, and especially children, almost non-existent unless they had other issues. So Brett, no, I cannot say that. Trump is president. Hello, S. Chapman. How you doing? The left took a stance opposite of whatever Trump, no matter how loud. This is Tex AG, by the way. Good morning. Below set. And then, opposite of whatever Trump, no matter how logical the statement, the left had to dig in their collective heels just so they wouldn't have to admit he was correct. Ding. S. Chapman, designed to kill people, the official narrative was to study how to treat it if we're able to infect humans. That's a bold admission. Yeah, it does take, there you go. So, anyway, so now that the FBI director is also saying this, there's an interesting little problem here. The White House is not happy about this, or at least this is, I don't know if the word panics is the correct statement, but here's the PJ Media article on this. White House panics after Wuhan lab leak story ID'd as most likely theory for stupid 19. Even Joe Biden can remember this, which may explain why the White House is in a panic now. In April of 2020, President Donald Trump claimed there was evidence that the stupid 19 started in the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
China is asshole.
The response was predictable. Trump was lampooned in the media. See, that's the other part. The media is hating this because, again, what are those words? Trump was right again. Because that's happened a lot of things with Donald Trump. Donald Trump say something, and then a year or whatever later, so people be like, oh, he was right. Like, the Germans are in their current energy issues right now. Interesting. Their dependence on Russia for everything came back to bite them in the ass, like right now. Anyway, but this one, the response was predictable. Trump was lampooned in the media. The intelligence community, or lack of intelligence community, immediately spread its tentacles to slap down the storytelling. This is the same intelligence community that said Hunter Biden's laptop was fake Russian news. Lies, yeah. The same intelligence agency that said the Steele dossier was real. Lies, yeah. The same intelligence agency that said Trump was a Russian secret agent. And don't get us started on the WMDs in Iraq.
Why the fuck you lying?
Trump was immediately laughed at and called a liar. And 4 reporters from the New York Times, Mike Mazzetti, Julia E. Barnes, Edward Wong, no, not wrong, because two whites don't make a Wong, and Adam Goldman dismissed Trump as a bully. Yet, there was ample concern over the lab. There was so much evidence of problems at the site that it was easier to believe it leaked the bug than believe it didn't. A State Department cable warning of safety issues at the Wuhan lab revealed in 2018, before Stupid 19 became front page news. In 2020, even the Washington Post's Josh Rogan confirmed the concern over the problems at the lab. Quote, in January 2018, the U.S. Embassy in Beijing took the unusual step of repeating sending U.S. science diplomats to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which had in 2015 become China's first laboratory to achieve the highest level of international biosearch safety known as BSL-4. WIV, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, issued a news release in English about the last of these visits, which occurred on March 27, 2018. The U.S. delegation was led by Jameson Foss, the General Counsel in the Consul General in Wuhan, and Rick Switzer, the the licorice magnate. No, I'm sorry, Rick. Sorry, I thought that was funny. Rick Switzer, the Embassy Counselor of Environment, Science, Technology, and Health. Last week, WIV removed that statement from its website, though it remains archived on the internet. See, they removed that super safety, whatever, what do you call it? Designation. Here's a look at what you see when you first try to find the report. The English version of the report is still available elsewhere on the internet. And Tucker Carlson of Fox News reported, oh no. Let's see what Tucker has to say about it. But first, let me see what Jimmy Das Hotep does, because thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, for sponsoring the show. Dropping a big bullet in the tip jar. Jimmy Das Hotep says, I think they have known the whole damn time. Okay, I threw it in damn, but this sounds good. The slow leak is designed to ease the blow. Next we will hear we funded it. Oh no, Jimmy, how could that be? He continues, I believe they funded a virus that killed millions, including my pops. The government is not to be trusted. They are murderers. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep. I appreciate you. And I'm sorry to hear about your pop. I didn't realize that he ended up dying from COVID. Yeah, we had a friend at work that died from COVID too. So it's, yeah, they've been trying to hold this off. And we already know for a fact that the NIH funded a lab in North Carolina, whatever that lab is called, that basically transferred that funding to the Wuhan lab. It's just third party money laundering type shit. But we were funding the lab, whether it was for this specific research or not. We made it possible for that lab to continue. And there may have been some shenanigans going on there. We don't know. But let's see what Tucker Carlson has to say, because, we always have fun listening to Tucker once in a while. How long is this?
The Wall Street Journal reported the Biden administration has finally concluded that, yes, COVID was not naturally occurring. It didn't emerge organically from a pangolin, whatever that is, at the wet market, whatever that is. No, the virus came from a Chinese military lab where it was created.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm not sure if it's, okay, I don't know if there's a military lab. Okay, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, I don't know if it's a military lab. And it's interesting, because this is on, I wonder if this is on YouTube. But anyway, there's more than one agency in the United States government that thinks it came from a lab, right? Okay.
That's the determination of the Department of Energy based on new intelligence that, of course,
new intelligence. Yes, it's brand new.
Now, we learned this, interestingly, from a newspaper.
By the way, Jimmy Das Hotep, you are the new Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. I forgot to give you your props, so there you go. All right.
Learned it directly from the Biden administration because Joe Biden hasn't said a word about it. And that's a little odd. 1 million Americans, they tell us, died of COVID. Close to 7.
Interesting how he said, they tell us. Because we know that not all people with that COVID designation. Well, we don't know. Well, I shouldn't ever give absolutes on my channel because I can't have absolutes. But we have a good idea that a lot of people, those who designated passing from COVID, didn't die from COVID. They died with COVID. But whatever. We know a lot of people died of COVID. And it's odd that the White House isn't saying a whole lot.
7 million died globally. So it's inherently a big story. Now, it is true that the origin of COVID is not directly related to anti-trans racism. No, he didn't. So it doesn't get as much attention. So it's not unnatural for Joe Biden. He doesn't have his talking points already written. But it might still make for a good topic for, say, a primetime address to the nation.
Yes.
He might mention it to us. He might answer a few other questions while he's at it. For example,
no. They don't want that.
Is Joe Biden still sending money to China for biotech research? The administration was actually doing that, sending cash to that same Wuhan lab as recently as last year. Are they still doing that? And
why?
Bigger picture, have their views on China changed? Now they know that China is responsible for the deaths of almost 7 million people. Now that we know China unleashed COVID on the world, intentionally or not, and then lied about it for sure, and then hid life-saving genetic information about the virus from the scientists who are trying to respond to COVID. Now we know all of that. Does Joe Biden still consider Vladimir Putin, he's so bad, the greatest threat to world peace and stability? It does seem like this story could overturn some of our previous...
Now, right there, the I don't know what it's called, the Ukrainobots, whatever, the Ukraine war cheerleaders are just going to say, we'll see, Russian... Tucker, they're siding with the Russians by saying that. And I don't know. Right now, clearly Russia is currently in a war that could escalate to a level that we may not be able to handle. But if you think about who's been more dangerous to the world in the last couple of years, certainly this virus that's killed millions of people around the world, through some bad, I don't know, through bad policy, through bad, just the secrecy of the Chinese government or whatever, did that exacerbate it, or was this inevitable once it leaked in the first place? Either way, the fact that it leaked from a lab and China waited too long to let people know, or at least try to mitigate the damage from it, has cost us gravely worldwide. And that's not a pun, that's just fact.
Assumptions. Well, Joe Biden's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, went on CNN yesterday to answer precisely none of these questions. Instead, he told us,
Jake Sullivan,
we're still not sure where it came from. Watch this.
Did the coronavirus pandemic start in a lab? Is that what you believe now?
Come on, Jake.
Well, Dana, there is a variety of views in the intelligence community. Some elements of the intelligence community have reached conclusions on one side, some on the other. A number of them have said they just don't have enough information to be sure. And if we gain any further insider information, we will share it with Congress and we will share it with the American people. But right now, there is not a definitive answer that has emerged from the intelligence community on this question.
Okay, no definitive answer. And that's true because there's different agencies that have different opinions, but maybe it's because some of the other agencies haven't changed their opinions from prior, where the Energy Department and the FBI have both stated as their investigations conclude that it's very likely that it came from that lab. Now, again, there are other opinions, but it's not what she asked. Absolutely not what she asked. Here, hang on. We're going to move on in this article, though. So anyway, the top coronavirus researchers who worked with the Wuhan lab and is known as the Bat Lady claimed 3 years ago that the virus was intentionally released. What? The Bat Lady claimed 3 years ago that the virus was intentionally released. Interesting. Indeed, the Wuhan lab itself bragged in 2014 that it had a breakthrough on bat coronaviruses, the kind of bat coronaviruses that could bind to a human receptor and what would later somehow infect the world, according to former CDC head Robert Redfield. In 2015, the lab became China's first laboratory to achieve the highest level of international bioresearch safety. We already talked about that. When the media's interest in the origin story of the COVID-19 virus went fallow until a few of the woke cubicle meerkats at the New York Times sniffed the air and attacked U.S. Senator Tom Cotton for daring to put the Wuhan lab leak in their op-ed pages, heads rolled and apologies for the opinion piece proliferated. The Times' Alexandria Stephen was assigned to deride the senator as a conspiracy theorist who pushed fringe theories. Stevenson intoned, quote, "Scientists have dismissed suggestions that the Chinese government was behind the outbreak, but it's the kind of tale that gains traction among those who see China as a threat." Oh, China's not a threat?
China is asshole.
Fast forward to now. After confirmation in the Wall Street Journal that the COVID virus most likely came from the Wuhan lab, reporters Michael R. Gordon and Warren P. Strobel reported that bioweapons experts at the Lawrence Livermore National Labs at the Department of Energy confirmed that the most likely explanation for Stupid-19 was a lab leak. But what do bioweapons experts know? What the hell do they know? Jeez. After the Department of Energy National Lab report was reported exclusively to the Wall Street Journal, the big guy and his White House minions went into panic mode. Biden's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, who along with singularly talentless Secretary of State Tony Blinken brought you the spectacularly disastrous pullout from Afghanistan, the shrink-wrap cash payoff to the mullahs in Iran, and the Benghazi disaster, is uniquely suited to do cleanup for Biden on the lab leak story. He specializes in creating and defending Democrat disasters. So, must be hard for the big guy, that would be Joe Biden, who has been wrong on nearly every major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 decades, according to the Defense Secretary Robert Gates, to admit he's wrong. Biden's point man Sullivan told CNN he would neither confirm nor deny the journal's report, but said that the president specifically requested that the national labs, which are part of the Energy Department, be brought into this assessment because he wants to put every tool at use, he's the biggest tool of all, to be able to figure out what happened here. That's a laudable enough, but then Sullivan seemed to say they didn't get the answer the big guy wanted. There are a variety of opinions on the IC, he explained. A number of them have said they just don't have enough information. The next day, February 27th, the Journal's Josh Chin, Lindsay Wise, and Annie Linsky performed the duties of cleaning up the White House response, amplifying Sullivan's claim of no consensus on the origins of Stupid 19 by quoting the National Security Council spokesman John Kirby. Kirby said that President Biden is determined to nail down where COVID started. Oh, I'm sure he's determined to nail it down, just like OJ is still looking for the killers of, his ex-wife, his former wife, I should say, and Ron, what's his name? But he declined to comment on the Journal article. But then in a press briefing, he said, quote, "There's not a consensus right now on the U.S. government about exactly how COVID started, Mr. Kirby. We are just not there yet. If we have something that is ready to be briefed to the American people and the Congress, we will do that." Oh, I'm sure you are just chomping at the bit to let us know, Mr. Kirby. Anyway, this is the same crew who brought you the consensus that Hunter Biden's laptop had all the classic earmarks of a Russian disinformation operation, faithfully transcribed by Politico's Natasha Bertrand. They're the same political organization pushing the idea that there's a scientific consensus on the climate catastrophe and using it as a bludgeon against scientists whose science don't agree. And Donald Trump had hookers peeing on Russian hotel beds. Former CDC head Robert Redfield, who publicly averred the likelihood of a lab leak, is that publicly averred? I guess he inferred the likelihood of a lab leak years ago, said that scientists finally looked at the science and concluded the virus didn't start in nature, but was taught to immediately infect humans and make it more transmissible between them. The virus had to be taught that behavior, and that was done in a lab. I think that these scientists finally really went and looked at the science and said the science doesn't add up, that it was out of nature. So, and then they quote a couple other people. I won't even quote the Fox News because I don't need it now. So anyway, they're playing, as PJ Media says, they're playing cleanup. Cleanup on aisle 5. So anyway. All right. Now that's not the only thing I wanted to talk to about today. Oh, wait. Another pandemic news. I've got an article here from Not the Bee. Apparently they're going to start, they're trying to take away a doctor in Texas. They're trying to take away her medical license for using horse paste. Dr. Mary Talley Bowden saved more than 5,500 lives during the pandemic. The Texas Medical Board is trying to destroy her for that horse drug we're not supposed to talk about. After all the junk science that was peddled. Now, this is not the Babylon Bee. This is their real news site from the same people, but this is they have the funny news, fake, whatever site, and then this is their real news site. After all the junk science that was peddled by the most powerful people in the world for 3 years, you'd think these medical licensing boards would stop the witch hunts against doctors who pushed back against the narrative and saw demonstrable improvements in the patients as they did. That would mean these boards would have to admit that they were wrong and lose some of their power as a result. And they can't have that. Apparently, Dr. Mary Tally Bowden is a board-certified Stanford-educated doctor in Houston, Texas, who treated and saved more than 5,500 patients live, including my mom, when she had COVID. This is Texas Lindsay. The Texas Medical Board is now trying to take her license away. So nothing has done more than discredit the entire medical establishment in my eyes than the pandemic. I no longer respect someone simply because he or she says they are a doctor. If anything, I view them with a certain level of initial distrust given the tyranny so many of them willingly supported in the name of abject lies and ideology. If it only saves one life, that's what makes it worth fighting for doctors like Bowden. Let's continue, shall we? Dr. Bowden is the mother of 4 boys. She graduated of Stanford University. She's a board-certified doctor who's been practicing medicine in Houston since 2003 and opened her own practice, Breathe MD, in 2019. So why is the Texas Medical Board going after a Stanford-educated doctor who saved thousands of lives? Because she prescribes an off-label cheap drug. We had a nickname for this. What did Canahotep had a nickname for this? Anyway, it starts with an I, and the end of it sounds like pectin. To her patients for COVID, as well as vaccine injuries like this one. Just look at the results. So she, for some reason, let's see, she prescribed it for COVID and vaccine injuries. Went from this red thing here, and then after she used it, this is here. Now, the particular horse paste drug isn't a cure-all, but it's a cheap drug that's existed for a long time. There's no profit to be made in it, which is a problem for those who like profit and power. Imagine if scientists said aspirin could reduce COVID deaths. Oh, wait. A study from George Washington University says aspirin reduces severe illness from COVID by half. Now, I don't know about that, but here's the thing. If one of the symptoms of the stupid, right, is fever, wouldn't things that are known to be fever reducers at least help with that one symptom? Is that shocking at all to anybody? If you got a high fever, right? High fever, what are some things that are known to reduce fever? Well, aspirin's one, ibuprofen's one. There's a couple others that are known to reduce fever, right? So I could see it would help with that one symptom. That's a severe part of the illness, right? Anyway, so that happened at George Washington University. Now, the media likes to portray doctors like Bowden as fringe lunatics when the reality is that 90% of the doctors were wrong about everything. That lockdowns would stop the spread, that masks stopped aerosol viruses, that mRNA vaccines were safe and would stop transmissions. Now, okay, YouTube, we know all those things were 100% true, but let's just think in the hypothetical here or something like that. Anyway, now I've been a student of history long enough to know that the fringe experts are often right about a great many things. In fact, most technological and medical advancements come from the fringes. Look at upstarts like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. America's great because it allows these fringe thinkers to come up with brilliant ideas and actually share them, or at least it did before the CDC, Pfizer, and Facebook considered that a sin. Look at the case of Hungarian Dr. Ignaz Semmelweis. Semmelweis? I'm going to say Semmelweis. Only 176 years ago, he proposed that doctors should disinfect hands with chlorinated lime solution. He was laughed at for decades and died lonely and penniless. Now think about that. It took the medical establishment decades to believe that this fringe opinion about washing hands was correct, and this wasn't that long ago. How do you think people will look back at us in 176 years and laugh at the medical establishment of today for its barbaric backwardsness? There's lots of examples. Anyway, this woman is Let's see. In 2022, Houston Methodist total revenues, $12,013,187,193. $12 billion in 1 year. Texas Health Hughley Hospital total revenue, $1,279,000,000, blah, blah, blah. So here it is. Anyone paying attention to the last 3 years knows that the horse paste is a threat to pharmaceutical and hospital corporation profits and goes against the approved government narrative. Now they're trying to use Dr. Bowden as an example of what happens when you go against the narrative. So who filed the complaints to the Texas Medical Board? A patient? No. Two Texas hospitals, Houston Methodist Hospital and Texas Health Hughley Hospital in Fort Worth, whose combined worth of $13 billion. Now, imagine the combined power of these billion-dollar hospitals lobbying against a single doctor. Dr. Bowden is a threat to the establishment. She's not one to cower to their intimidation tactics, though. Her response to a recent informal hearing she had last week said, "I will not plead guilty for crimes I did not commit." Good for her. She deserves a cheer. Doctors, for the most part, are just going along because of what you saw happen to me, a vicious backlash and trying to take my license away. Doctors, it turns out, are the same as the rest of us when it comes to responding to peer pressure and authority. Most go along with the crowd like a bunch of kids following a schoolyard bully. But there's another big player involved here. A PR conglomerate whose clients include the CDC, Moderna, Pfizer, and the American Board of Internal Medicine, whose goal is to go after certified doctors who oppose their clients' narratives. So here's Dr. Bowden talking about the witch hunts against her. Here it is. We'll just play this and we're going to move on. But here's her talking.
I have no financial ties with any third parties. I do not contract with insurance companies. I don't contract with the government. I do not take Medicare. I have no financial ties with hospitals and no financial ties with pharmaceutical companies.
Good for her.
What was the misinformation that you got fired for? It sounds positively Soviet, by the way, when I hear this. You know, the misinformation against the state.
Dangerous misinformation, not just misinformation, dangerous. And essentially, I wrote ivermectin works, and that's based on treating over 2,000 patients with ivermectin and keeping them out of the hospital. And then I said vaccine mandates are wrong. I got a text message from the Houston Chronicle from a reporter saying, "Is it true that your privileges have been suspended?" And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And then I checked my email and there was a letter, and then I checked Twitter and they were tweeting about it, which is unheard of. It's probably it's unprecedented. No hospital's ever done that to a doctor that I know of. So
Okay, so anyway, you can watch the rest of that on your own. There's a whole lot more here, but I'm running out of time. So anyway, she's had success treating patients in her way that she treats them. And these asshats are trying to take away her licensing. So she's going to fight that. She would have to... and the board, by the way, in this case, the board offered a settlement. Here's the settlement that they offered. She would have to admit guilt, pay a $5,000 fine, take 8 hours of continuing medical education, and a jurisprudence exam. She said, fuck off. So anyway, she said, I won't plead guilty to crimes I didn't commit. She is pursuing a public hearing so that there are no anonymous accusations, and she will be able to bring her own witnesses. I'm still treating my patients while forced to fight for my license, Bauer said Friday after an informal hearing with members of the Texas Medical Board. People close to me have encouraged me to give up for my own well-being, but I've witnessed too much, and I could not live with myself if I didn't keep going. I did nothing wrong and will fight for what's right, which is caring for patients. So fuck yeah, go girl. It's a much longer article. I highly encourage you to read the rest. But FTG to the Texas Medical Board and those two hospitals going after her. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for dropping another bullet in the tip jar, who says, If you're having trouble controlling your appetite when seeing Beetlejuice, stop the music. If you're having trouble controlling your appetite when you see Beetlejuice, I just wonder if the carpet matches the drapes. Das yuck. Thanks. I think. Oh Lord. Anyway, all right. So I clearly did not get to nearly, not even a third, not even a fourth of what I was going to get to today. But if you want to check out the links today, there's news about the more updates on the Ohio train disaster, including the fact that Pennsylvania is opening a health center near the derailment as residents voice concern about air quality and water quality. Also, there's people, a lot of chemical readings are reading higher than normal in that area. Also, diversity workers being phased out amid corporate job cuts. We talked about that last week, but the media is also catching up on that. Hello, Unacceptable Views, by the way. In Front Page Magazine, there's an article called Black Murders Matter, just talking about how a lot of the victims, and I see whenever someone talks about police brutality and the police killings, which are extremely, extremely rare, but they exist, and we get oppression porn constantly when they happen. We forget, though, that one of the leading causes of death, especially among young black men, is homicide. And so I always want to, I don't want to say, oh, well, what about Chicago, the murders in Chicago? Even though there's a lot of murders in Chicago, it's not because of the people doing the murdering, but it's because of the people dying that we seem to forget about. And so there's a long article about how police are afraid to solve murders in black communities. And it's an interesting article. There's some things I question and I probably would look up after reading it, but still, it's an interesting thing that we seem to forget. If Black Lives Matter, then we need to think about what's killing black people. And it's certainly not the police. It's, the highest cause of death, especially among young black men, is homicide. And we're not solving enough of those. Also, in the Washington Free Beacon, there's Biden told another lie, shocker, about oil companies sitting on 9,000 unused drilling permits. He's incredibly wrong on that one. In CNS News, Biden I might have to stream this afternoon. Biden vows to veto a joint resolution requiring asset managers to invest retirement money for profit only and not ESG goals. Now, if you're not familiar with ESG, environmental, social, and governance considerations in investing. Remember, we're talking about retirement funds, right? Hi, James Colley. You would think that the only things that asset managers should be worried about, especially with people's retirement money, is whether or not they can get a profit. Because that's people's retirement, not for some diversity bullshit and environmental bullshit. No. So that's an interesting one. And a bipartisan bill is going to Joe Biden, and he's vowing to veto it. Interesting. Speaking of which, there's also banks investing in a $45 million global carbon credit platform. Oh, yay. In tech. Yippee. Let's see. Teachers Union president melts down on the Supreme Court steps over the student loan. Biden wanting to forgive student loans under the HEROES Act, which is dubious at best. Basically, this is Joe Biden rewriting law in a way. But I think I mentioned this yesterday a couple times on Twitter because people were talking about it. I'm like, well, this would be like being able to veto a bill from a prior president. But then they say, oh, well, this is something he's allowed to do under the HEROES Act. Yeah, that's dubious as fuck. Okay. Seeing as we're not in we'll get into that later, but the article about that, more articles on terrorism in the southern border. Wait. I have one clip to finish with. I'll come back to that. By the way, here, I'm gonna do these two, and then you can just look at the rest of the articles yourself. I might come back this afternoon. We'll see. I didn't get time to do it yesterday, but here's a funny one. Biden administration Black History Month event features land acknowledgement of a slave-owning tribe. A guest of the U.S. Department of Energy fireside chat on Black resistance, energy, and climate justice signed on to the Monday call with a land acknowledgement for a Native American tribe that kept Black slaves and allied itself with the Confederacy, according to the Department of Energy recording of the call. Colette Pichon Battle, Divisions and Initiative Partner for the Climate Justice Initiative, Taproot Earth, joined the Black History Month fireside chat with a label that read, quote, Choctaw Territory, end quote, and verbally mentioned she was calling from South Louisiana. Director Shalanda H. Baker of the Department of Energy's Office of Economic Impact and Diversity, who hosted the call, praised the acknowledgement, noted that she was also calling from indigenous territory in D.C., specifically the Piscataway territory, Anacostan people as well, and asked if Battle could talk about the ways in which centering Blackness is also connected to indigeneity and indigenous peoples. Now, here's the problem. By doing the acknowledgement of the Choctaw people, who happened to have Black slaves before slavery was made illegal in this country. So, gee, what a great thing to do on Black History Month. In fact, maybe we should look that up for Black History Month. So read the article and you'll get more information. In 1860, enslaved peoples of African descent comprised of 14% of the Choctaw Nation. Faye Yarborough, a professor and associate dean at Rice University, wrote in a January article for the National Endowment for the Humanities. And they were on the side of the South. So there you go. Way to go. Department of Energy, you win a prize and get the clown horn. All right. And finally, also Black History Month, since we're ending Black History Month, Joe Biden did a Joe Biden and was pandering to some Black people. And here it is.
I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Oh, contraire, Joe Biden. You are stupid.
I know where the power is.
Oh, the power.
I know where the power. You think I'm joking? I learned a long.
No, yes, you are joking because you are.
A long time
stupid.
Ago about the.
Anyway, congratulations, Joe Biden. Wait, where is that one? Joe Biden.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right. Thank you, guys. I got to go. I might come back this afternoon. Who knows? I'll try. But thank you all for having a wonderful, thank you all for having a wonderful day. Thank you for a wonderful show. You guys are fantastic. I'm glad you joined us today. If you would be so kind, you are the sponsor of the Morning Night Live. You sponsor the show by hitting the like button. There's still a few people who haven't done it. Share this stream, even though it's almost over. Some people will watch it, and especially on Rumble. Apparently, a lot of people are watching my show on Rumble. And if you'd be so kind, again, what was the question of the day? I can't even remember. There was a question of the day, and I forgot to. Well, you'll have to go back to the beginning of the show because now my brain is gone. But please put a comment in the comment section if you're watching a replay, and you can sponsor the show monetarily at pdognight.live or YouTube Super Chats or Venmo Cash App. Those are in the description down below, guys. Thank you so much, and I mean guys in a general northern, generic, non-gendered sense. Guys, thanks for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'll be back tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. My name is P Dog Night, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P Dog Night, and thanks for watching today on the P Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.